mission is to find and return the princess.
Tomorrow, you shall return below.
Hi and welcome to Select 10. In this video, we are going to count down our picks for 10 best fantasy movies on Netflix. Watch full video, as I will take 20 to 25 seconds to talk about each movie, which will help you to pick the movie you want to watch first. Also make sure to comment down which movies you are going to watch from this list. So let's start the video. On number 10. Bleach. It is a Japanese action fantasy film based on the manga series of the same name. The story follows Ichigo Kurosaki, a high school student with the ability to see ghosts. Ichigo then sees the Soul Reaper Rukia Kachiki, who came to eradicate evil spirits. At first Ichigo does not believe Rukia, but after that, a chain of events lead to a desperate situation where Rukia transfers half of her powers to Ichigo as a last resort. But Ichigo absorbs more power than planned, and Rukia becomes trapped in a human body. Rukia asks Ichigo to replace her as a Soul Reaper until her power is restored. Ichigo agrees and begins his duty to fight against evil spirits and help lost souls find their way to the afterlife. On number 9. 47 Ronin.
Whatever happens, whatever you see, there's no coming back.
It is a fantasy action-adventure film set in late medieval Japan. And the story begins in Kingdom Eiko, where Lord Asano rules his province with fairness. However, jealous Lord Kira fears that the shogun favors Asano over him and hatches a plot that ends with Asano's ritual suicide. After Asano's death, his samurai, led by Oishi, are forced to live as outcasts. Oishi wanders for several years but realizes that he must turn to Kai, a mixed-blood warrior who were banished from Eiko years ago. When Kai realizes that their master was not at fault, he teams up with 46 other banished Ronins in order to not only save Eiko but also Asano's daughter, Mika, from a tyrant Lord Kira and his spies. On number 8. The Huntsman, Winter's War.
What are you gonna do? Be the hero?
It is a dark fantasy action-adventure film which acts as both prequel and sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman 2012. It takes place before and after the events of the first film. Devastated by a cruel and terrible betrayal, the evil sorceress Queen Ravenna, younger sister Freya, renounces love and sees her dormant magical powers emerge. Transformed into an all-powerful ice witch with a frozen heart, Freya devotes all her energy to raising a large and invincible army of orphans from the conquered lands, her mighty huntsmen. However, in this icy realm, where love is a sin, two dauntless warriors, Eric and Sarah, dare to defy the queen's decree and fall for each other, only to face the disastrous consequences. On number 7. Goosebumps.
The abominable snowman just crawled out of a book. That doesn't just happen.
You've just released every monster I've ever created.
It is a fantasy adventure film based on book of the same name. The story follows Zach Cooper, who is upset about moving from the big city to a small town. But young Zach finds a hope when he meets his beautiful neighbor Hannah, and he was surprised to learn that Hannah's mysterious father is R.L. Stine, the famous author of the best-selling Goosebumps book series. But when Zach accidentally unleashes the monsters from the book, they wreak havoc in the real world. Now it's up to Stine, his daughter, and Zach to return the beasts back to the books where they belong. On number 6. Twilight. It is a romantic fantasy film based on the novel of the same name. The story follows high school student Bella Swan, who is always a bit of a misfit and doesn't expect life to change much. But when she moves from sunny Arizona to rainy Washington state, she meets Edward Cullen, a handsome but mysterious teen whose eyes seem to peer directly into her soul. Whereas Edward is a vampire whose family does not drink blood, and Bella, far from being frightened, enters into a dangerous romance with her immortal soulmate, Edward. If you want to watch refreshing representation of vampires with a perfect blend of romance and fantasy, then you will love this movie. On number 5. Stardust.
Where you tell me who you are and why you're up here.
We're just trying to make our way home.
It is a romantic fantasy adventure film based on Neil Gaiman's 1999 novel of the same name. The film follows Tristan, a young man from the fictional town of Wall in Great Britain. Wall is a town on the border of the magical fantasy kingdom of Stormhold. Tristan enters the magical world to collect a fallen star to give to his beloved Victoria in return for her hand in marriage. But when he collects the star who, to his surprise, is a woman named Yvain. Meanwhile witches and the Prince of Stormhold are also hunting for Yvain for their own benefits. Now to save Yvain, Tristan tries to get her back to Wall with him before Victoria's birthday, the deadline of her offer. On number 4. The Witcher. Nightmare of the Wolf. It is an adult animated dark fantasy film for Netflix, which serves as a spin-off of the Netflix series, The Witcher. It focuses on the origin story of Geralt's mentor and fellow Witcher, Vesemir. The story follows Vesemir, a young Witcher who escaped a life of poverty to slay monsters for coins and glory. But when a strange new monster begins terrorizing a politically anxious kingdom, Vesemir finds himself on a frightening adventure that forces him to confront the demons of his past. On number 3. Jack the Giant Slayer.
Who are you?
It's Jack! Ready?
It is fantasy adventure film directed by Bryan Singer. The story follows Jack, a young farmhand who must rescue a princess from a race of giants after unintentionally opening a portal between his realm and mythical land filled with giants, which rekindle an ancient war. Roaming Earth for the first time in centuries, the fearsome giants seek to reclaim the land they lost long ago. Now Jack has to face an army of giants that he thought existed only in legend. But through his hard fight for the kingdom and its people, Jack hopes to win the love of a brave princess, perhaps becoming a legend himself. On number 2. The Old Guard.
Resistant to capture.
They're going to.
It is an action fantasy film based on the comic book of the same name. The story follows Andy, who leads a group of centuries-old immortals with unexplained regenerative healing abilities. They use their vast experience to work as mercenaries, taking missions that help people. Breaking their rule of never working for the same employers twice, they accept a job from former CIA operative, James, to rescue a group of kidnapped girls in South Sudan. During the mission, which proves to be a trap, they are ambushed and killed. After quickly recovering and killing their attackers, they realize that James set them up and remotely filmed their abilities. Now the group must fight to protect their freedom and stop James from exposing their secret. On number 1. Along with the Gods. The Two Worlds. It is a South Korean fantasy action film directed by Kim Yong-hwa, and it's based on the webtoon series by Joo Ho-min. The story follows firefighter Kim Ja-hong, who dies in the line of duty and is escorted to the afterlife by 3 guardians. They are here to escort and defend him in 7 trials in 49 days. This trials will decide his fate based on what he had done when he was alive. If he passes and proves he was innocent in human life, he will be reincarnated and his guardians will be given credit towards their own reincarnation. And believe me, the concept of this movie will blow your mind. That's it for today. Thanks for watching this video. And do subscribe my channel for new updates.